students. So today we are going to start with your fourth chapter of A Pact with the Sun, and that is The Old Clock Shop. Actually, this is a short story about the interaction of people and how festive season bring well-being to them. In this story, there is an old deaf person, a shopkeeper actually, named Ray. He repairs watches in his shop in Salt Lake City, USA. And he also purchases watches from people who need money. So actually this story begins with the festive environment of Christmas. People were purchasing goods and accessories for Christmas festival. It was a late night and Ray also decided to close the shop. But as he turned, he saw two men, one in his 20s and the old one was near about of 50-year-old. So as he turned there, he saw those two men waiting for him. But Ray's old and wise eyes told him that these two men were not there for shopping. He was fearful. Why? Because one of the men, the older one, he was carrying a gun and keeping his restless hands in his pocket. And his restlessness was showing that he was not comfortable. He wanted to do some looting and something like that. Means he came there with some wrong purposes. But Ray, he tried to hide his fear and he slowly pushed a notepad and a pencil across the counter. And he signaled through his sign language only. He told them that he is deaf, he can't hear, and they have whatever they want, they have to write on that notepad. Then first of all, Ray wrote himself. He wrote on the pad, "May I help you?" But as the man came to know about that the owner of the shop, he is deaf, he gave a cruel and mocking smile, and then he turned to his partner and he talked with him for some time. Maybe he wanted to tell him that the owner of the shop is deaf. Ray was noticing all that, but he was fearful also, but he's trying to hide his fear. Actually, Ray was not a pawnbroker. Pawnbroker means those who used to give money and take some things from the people. And whenever people want to take those things back, they return the money and they take their things back. So Ray was not a pawnbroker actually. He was a kind-hearted person and he could not say no to the needy people. He always tried to help them and he always paid them more he should. So the old man also was feeling stress-free after knowing that Ray is deaf. Then he slowly came back to Ray and he showed an old watch of him to Ray. Ray noticed a little shame in his eyes when he was showing his watch to Ray. The watch was nothing special, but yet had great powers. Why? Because he wanted some money in exchange of that old watch. So the watch was having some great powers. Powers of helping the needy person. So Ray came to know that time only that the person is very much in need and he also wanted some money. So Ray asked him, "How much do you need for it?" The reply came on the notepad again, "Whatever it's worth." Means whatever its cost. Ray reached into his cash box and then he pulled a $50 note and passed it on to the stranger. Then they both shook hands. Ray was noticing that man closely and it was very much clear in his eyes that he was very much happy in taking $50 in return of that old clock, because they both knew that that watch was not worth of that $50. So the man, he turned back and before turning back he again wrote a line on the notepad that "I will be back to pick it up as soon as I can." And then he wrote "Merry Christmas." So our this story ended with all the clocks striking and they are ringing all together. Although Ray couldn't hear those ringings, but still there are some sounds of goodwill and help. It seems that those ringings are filled with sweet musical message. And which message is there? That message is full of hopes and the timeless message of peace of earth and goodwill towards all. This was the message and the gift from Ray to the needy people as a Christmas gift. So, student, actually this story is not that much enchanting as we have read earlier, but still it gives a moral that if we feel to help other, if we want to help other, so definitely nothing wrong can happen to us. So we'll have to be positive whether if we are feeling wrong in any of the condition. If we will try to help in those conditions also to others, so definitely we will be happy, and even the persons those who are dealing with us, they will be happy. So this was all about the fourth chapter, the old clock shop. Thank you.